Jabajaba Mapula di Ranaw and welcome to ITA Beyond. I'm Ranaw. You might have heard of the Puyuma Express, but did you know that Puyuma is actually the name of an indigenous Pinu-Yumayan village in eastern Taiwan? And today we're visiting a young member of the Puyuma village, Hanako, who is going to help us learn more about her community and its culture. Hi Hanako, it's so great to be here in your community.
Hi Ranaw. Happy that you guys are here in Puyuma, aka Namwang. Puyuma also means coming together. We are based on the Provincial Highway 9, among 10 communities in Pinu-Yumayan. Puyuma is one of the largest communities, and our ancestors landed in Dulan Mountain, which is our sacred mountain. And then they migrated to Taidong City. Along the river, they migrated to where we are right now, which is Namwang. And we have been here for more than 100 years.
And speaking of the Pinu-Yumayan language, it's actually been classified as one of the endangered indigenous languages. Hanako, after coming back from college in the US, you joined a language mentorship program to learn your mother tongue, right?
That's correct. I'm currently a student in a language mentorship program and learning the language one-on-one with our elder Pakawyan Pakawyan. Right after graduating from college, I decided to return to Puyuma because our language is endangered. And I just graduated, I have time. For me, this learning method deeply connects me to my culture and has been a wonderful choice.
I believe the path you've chosen is truly remarkable. And growing up in the village and being involved in community affairs, what would you say is the most essential aspect of Pinu-Yumayan culture for you?
The Pinu-Yumayan are a matriarchal society and is one of the characteristics of many Austronesian societies. Women are mainly responsible for farming while men are taking care of the baraguan. We also call this gyagalayan. It means that what we are supposed to do or we take responsibility for the community. Besides that, our rituals are all connected with our seasons.
And when it comes to rituals, we just have to mention one of our traditional crops, millets. And in fact, Pinu-Yumayan culture and ceremonies are closely connected to millets. And now we are going to visit Hanako's sister, Idenan, who has been dedicated to bring millets cultivation back to life. Let's go! So millet is a vital traditional crop and staple food for many indigenous communities in Taiwan. And here in Puyuma village, millet cultivation was lost for many years, and it took decades of efforts for the community to revive this important tradition. So Idenan, can you tell us more about this journey?
In the Puyuma village, the bond between women and millet is like a quiet, steady lifeline that ties the land, the ancestors, and the people together. Back in the Japanese colonial era, the popular field called Batatalu were taken over, and after the war, the KMT government kept control. Millet plots went barren, so many women had to borrow bits of land here and there just to keep their culture alive.
And just like Hanako mentioned earlier, your rituals are all tied to the season, and millets actually plays a big part in all of this too, right, Hanako?
Yes, correct. These days, the Pinu-Yumayan year kicks off in March with a full millet cycle, and you will see women working everywhere, farming together in Misa'u, comforting spirits in Malabalabas, celebrating the completion of weeding in Mukamut, and honoring the elders during Gapadang. Since 1994, leaders like Principal Zheng Yumei, teacher Pakawyan Pakawyan, Elder Zheng Haoxiang, and teacher Wang Xiumei have rallied the whole village to bring Misa'u back. They not only visited the Binaski village, but they also brought students out of their concrete classrooms and into the fields, turning farmland into classrooms where students can learn to communicate with the land.
And it sounds like land access is still a big challenge when it comes to millet farming. So how do you see the future of millet's revival, Idenan?
Land is still hard to come by though. So the middle-aged women have gotten creative growing millet on balcony, in pots, even in backyard veggie pitches. Some feel called to plant after a dream from their ancestors. Others married and moved away, then brought new ideas home. Their micro-recreation proved that even under constrained external conditions, women can take action in the urban environment. A large traditional farm is not a vital factor for planting millet.
And nowadays, a lot of us are living in a city, so taking action to reconnect with the land really shows how resilient we are as indigenous people. And actually bringing millets back is closely connected to climate change, right, Hanako?
Yes, correct. Due to global warming, drought-tolerant millet is a symbol of the community's future resilience, one grain that carries both cultural memory and food security. Right now, Puyuma women are wielding hoes, lesson plants, and sacred rituals to restitch the ties between their village and the wider world, showing us how millet rebirth can mean cultural rebirth as well.
Even in limited spaces, seeds can grow. The Puyuma women are not just reviving millets, they are nurturing a future. And next, we are going to meet another young leader to see how local youth are working together to hold a space for their culture on this land. Now let's meet up with Sulangalr Pakawyan, a returning youth who's been deeply involved in community affairs, youth participation, and community building initiatives. Hi, Sulangalr. Can you tell us more about you and your team have been up to?
As young people from the Puyuma village, we believe that reclaiming the power to telling our own story is essential for moving forward. That's why last year, we launched the Puyuma Community Network Base, a program where we collect stories from elders, dig into historical documents, and from issue-based discussion group. Through this, we are restructuring our historical perspective. Youth are not just recorders, we are also actors and change makers. We also create the Puyuma Life Experiment Base at the foot of Namwang Mountain, where we integrated traditional skill, ecological knowledge, and the cultural tool to reconnect with our land in meaningful ways.
And this year, your team launched Puyuma Community Network Base 2.0, focusing on oral history, community perspectives, cultural landmarks, and historical guided walks. Can you share more with us?
Sure. Our community moved here from the old settlement of Banglan Puyuma, today's Beinan neighborhood, almost 100 years ago. Since then, we have been through many turning points. Wartime bombing, the 228 incident, the construction of the new Taidong train station, and even have the name Puyuma used for a train. Through guided walks, we explored historical traces like old fire station bell, unexploded bomb, and the former Balagwan site. The place helped us understand that Puyuma isn't just the name of a train. It's a vessel of memory and a story of all people.
And actually, where we were standing right now, the Puyuma Traditional Culture Center is the heart of the village. And it was built on the original sites of the Balagwan and Takuban, where the Puyuma people gather for meetings, ceremonies, and cultural transmission.
That's right. The Balagwan is where elders and adultmen meet to discuss and carry out community matters. The Takuban is where boys under 17 receive training in social, etiquette, rituals, and hunting. In Puyuma mythology, bamboo represent our ancestral origins. Traditional buildings were mostly built from thorny bamboo, and every winter the community would come together to gather materials, building and repair these structures. The process includes singing, food sharing, and crafting, all deeply woven into our cultural life. But today, with many people moving away, most buildings have been replaced by concrete and steel buildings. While some traditional materials are still used for decoration, an embodied knowledge of how to use them is vanishing. Thankfully, many young people are now actively learning traditional construction techniques. We hope to one day rebuild the Balagwan, Takuban, and the Luma, and even the Galumaan, using natural materials bringing our culture back into our daily life.
The work you and your team have done over the years is incredible. Like you said, when tradition is part of our daily life, it doesn't disappear. Thank you for sharing. And speaking of bamboo structures, this year a bamboo architecture exhibition was held for the first time in Taitung, and it beautifully showcased how culture and nature blend together in Eastern Taiwan, allowing the public to appreciate the wisdom embedded in indigenous architecture.
The Tectonics of the Island, an exhibition showcasing Taiwan's bamboo architecture, held its 4th edition in Taitung this year. 6 bamboo craftspeople were invited to create new works at 3 sites, including the Zhiben Forest Recreation Area, Taitung Flowing Lake, and Taromak Village Square. The exhibited works aim to encourage the public to rediscover the bamboo architecture.
其实早期我们台湾用竹材用的非常多，那竹材它有生长快速，那它的碳汇是非常的高，那还有它有这个材料有弹性的这样的特性，所以在台湾传统上面，它用竹材就用的非常多。
The 1960s to 1980s were the peak years for Taiwan's bamboo industry, but the emergence of new construction materials and low-cost competition from Southeast Asia led to the rapid decline of the industry. The organizers of the exhibition hope to reinvigorate the bamboo industry in Taiwan, while indigenous architects look to showcase the wisdom of traditional practices.
卑南族本来一向都是以竹子为主。 就像我们过去的记忆，很小的时候住的房子就是竹子，可是竹过大家不用了以后呢，这些工法就随着老人家一起回去了。
Ahung Masikad said that he hopes his works can showcase traditional Pinuyumayan craftsmanship and reawaken the community to the importance of bamboo. The organizers also said that they will hold more events to develop more talent in bamboo architecture. They also hope that the public can rethink the impact of buildings on the environment and appreciate the wisdom of bamboo building.
Puyuma is also known as the Golden Melody Village because it's home to so many award-winning artists, and it's a place where music seems to grow straight from the land. And after studying in the US, Hanako came back home, blending her global experience with a passion for music and the arts. This year, she put together the ITA Night Party, bringing young talents from all walks of life to connect, share, and celebrate through music. The upbeat electronic music instantly lit up the vibe. With the idea of bringing young people together through music, Hanako Purapuran from Taitung's Puyuma village hosted a party called ITA Night right in her own backyard, a warm invitation into the heart of indigenous culture in Taitung.
ITA 是很多南岛语义的意思。ITA Night 呢，这个一个派对的概念，其实因为我很常就是在国外念书很久，然后加上我自己很喜欢跳舞啊，然后很喜欢音乐，这种派对的感觉其实是每一个人都是派对的主角，也是表演的一部分。
A lively music party featuring top DJs from around the world with young indigenous talents singing traditional songs and getting everyone hyped all night long.
觉得是一个凝聚，就是在地台东年轻人一个聚会的地方。分享我们的音乐，唱给大家听，分享到全世界。
It's not just about indigenous music. Food stalls also served cuisine from the local indigenous community. The organizers hope to break down barriers between different ethnicities, nationalities, and genders. They look forward to more people join in and dive into Taitung's unique electronic music vibe. Hanako, can you share more about ITA Night? What inspired you to start this event?
ITA means one in many Austronesian languages. ITA Night is a dance party centered around indigenous music, and we invite indigenous DJs and blend genres like Afrobeats, Amapiano, house, and hip-hop to create a dance floor that transcends ethnicities and borders, inviting everyone to dance. We come from all kinds of different backgrounds, jobs, and education, but this land has shaped us all. We hope that as everyone becomes the best version of themselves, and we can also come together to share and celebrate our culture as a big community.
This event has received a lot of positive feedback, but I understand there's a deeper meaning behind it. Things like decolonization and collective healing for the younger generation. Could you share more about that?
It's similar to other indigenous peoples in the world. When culture is taken away, we naturally want to hold on tightly to what's left. Sometimes out of fear of getting hurt again, or we distance ourselves, but we also need to be brave enough to face our loss and grieve together as a community. ITA Night is definitely a fun and joyful party, but it's also a chance for everybody, people that were here and people that came after, to connect and learn from each other. Our ancestors share a complex history, and we need to face it together. Through dancing, singing, and being genuine, ITA Night becomes a place to build bridges and bring us closer. So I would definitely say ITA Night is like a place for us to heal together, and also for people that doesn't know indigenous culture. It might be like an easy first step to come in, because like foreigners, they don't know where to go to know indigenous culture. They search online, maybe there's only like a few official websites talking about indigenous culture, but doesn't really know how to connect with the indigenous people. And I think ITA Night, like the goal of ITA Night is for the people that's here on the land and also that want to know about this land. It's like a bridge for everybody to come together, and also a way for the people that live here to reconnect with the land and knowing the history that would happen here.
The energy at the party really shows how young people approach life and culture, free, open, and willing to cross any boundaries. Big thanks to Hanako for your sharing, and for more stories from ITA See the World, please stay tuned.